Welcome to the movie discussion, The Grand Budapest Hotel. By the end of 1968, the Grand Hotel Budapest was almost completely destroyed by its antiquity. At the beginning, we see a man named Zero Moustafa, a man who looks lonely and sad, but at the same time looks smart and attracts the attention of those around him. Mr. Zero Moustafa is one of the richest men in Dubrovka and owns the largest hotel Budapest. Although he owns the place, he only comes 3 weeks a year and only when the hotel was not crowded. Although he owned this large place, he stayed in a small room belonging to the servants and did not even have a toilet. Then we see someone named Jean who is impressed by Mr. Zero and wants to know more about him. But Jean is lucky, and one morning he goes to the bathroom and Mr. Zero comes to the bathroom and takes a bath next to Jean. Jean says this bathroom is very attractive with its oldness. Mr. Zero says this bathroom is not the favourite of the youngsters now, but I like it, so I don't want to update it. Jan says, I would like to know how you bought this big place. Mr. Zero says I didn't buy this place, but if you would like to know my life story, then I will invite you to dinner this evening. And with him, I will really tell you the story. Mr. Zero then begins to tell the story. Year 1932. The concierge of the Grand Budapest Inn, Mr. Gustave. We see that he is sitting with his girlfriend, who is the same age as Gustave's mother, and he says, I need to leave here, and asks Gustave to come with him to Lotz, and Gustave refuses. Then his girlfriend leaves. Then sees a guard named Zero and tells him who gave you permission to work here. He says, Mr. Moshe. Gustave then asks a lot of questions about Zero. Experience, and any answer he gives is zero. Despite his inexperience, Gustave still agrees and gives him a work permit. A month later, Zero is now accepted as the lobby boy and works under Gustave's intensive command. What's the lobby boy?
A lobby boy is completely invisible, yet always in sight. A lobby boy remembers what people hate. A lobby boy anticipates the client's needs before the needs are needed. A lobby boy is above all discreet to a fault. Our guests know their deepest secrets, some of which are frankly rather unseemly, will go with us to our graves. So keep your mouth shut, Zero.
Zero realised that most of the guests were coming because of Gustave. Rich, old, young, blonde hair.
Why blonde? Because they all were.
They worked 6 days a week, half a day on Saturdays, and 5 in the morning until midnight. Mr. Gustave also instructed his employees at night and then went to his room to eat dinner alone. No one knew the identity of the hotel owner, only someone named Kovac would come and question Gustave in their private room and then leave. Then we see Agatha is a confectioner, and he makes most of the desserts of the Budapest Hotel. Then, when Zero is going to gather newspapers to see what the latest news is, he sees that Gustave's girlfriend is dead and runs to tell him. When he tells them the news, they hurry to attend his funeral. They are now on their way on the train when Gustave talks about his feelings about his girlfriend. He sees that the border is closed and the police come to check the people on the train and ask for their identities. When Zero shows his ID to the cop sees that Zero doesn't have an ID and that it's just a useless piece of paper. So they want to take Zero with them, but Gustave stops them and the police start beating them both. But Gustave gets lucky, and then an officer comes in and says, I'm Albert, Mr. Gustave. Do you remember me? Gustave says yes, and Albert says he feels ashamed and apologises and gives Zero a leave of absence until he issues his ID. Then they arrive at their destination, and now Gustave finds his girlfriend dead, and as if nothing had happened, Gustave says that he has never seen you so beautiful. Finally, you change the colour of your nails. In this way, I like it very much.
When the destiny of a great fortune is at stake, men's greed spreads like a poison in the bloodstream. Uncles, nephews, cousins, in-laws of increasingly tenuous connection. The old woman's most distant relations had come foraging out of the woodwork. At the head of this congregation, it was a disorienting coincidence, we discovered our own Deputy Kovacs, himself an important attorney, of course. He was the executor of the dead widow's estate.
Monsieur Gustave H., the painting known as Boy with Apple.
Wow.
By Johannes van Heuvel.
I can't believe it.
You're not getting Boy with Apple, you goddamn little fruit.
My friends.
He says he will kill you if you edit the picture of the Apple Boy, and Gustave says, I better leave here. Because Dimitri won't let them take the painting of the apple boy, Gustave has to take it secretly. Serge helps them take the painting and puts a secret letter on the back of the painting written by Gustave's girlfriend. They then decide to sell it because it makes a lot of money, and because they are afraid of losing the painting. Zero and Gustave agree that if they sell it, Zero will own 1.5%. Then, the police come and arrest him for the murder of Gustave's girlfriend. A week later, Zero visits him and tells him that he and Mr. Kovac have investigated and found out that the culprit is Serge. And he says, "Don't despair, there will be a way to be free." But all this is a conspiracy. Jopling and Dimitri are aware of this, and Jopling is looking for Serge to kill him. Gustave then receives a sweet from Zero and eats it with his prison friends. And the prison friends say, "You are now one of us," and they have drawn up an escape plan to escape from prison. Zero then proposes marriage, and Agassa agrees to the proposal, and their marriage is a secret, and no one knows. Dimitri and Jopling then argue with Kovac about the loss of the document that Serge, the killer of Dimitri Kovac's mother, lost.
Did you just throw my cat out the window?
We see Zero telling Agatha that he stole a painting worth 5 kobelik and he needs to sell it to us. And at that point, Zero leaves. Jopling then went after Kovac to kill him, believing he had deliberately lost the document. Although Kovac tries to escape, the Jopling still kills him. Now is the right time to escape from prison, and Gustave successfully escapes with his prison friends, and Zero comes to help him. Then, the police find out, and now they are trying to arrest Gustave again. Now, the situation is very bad. Dimitri learns that the apple boy's picture has been stolen. Jopling is looking for Gustave to kill him. Then, sees Serge, and Serge apologizes and says they forced me to kill your girlfriend for his money, and inheritance Jopling soon prevents Serge from finishing and kills him Zero, and Gustave then chased Jopling to arrest him, but Gustave falls and Jopling tries to throw him down, and Zero comes and pushes Jopling, and Jopling dies. Agatha then leaves to take the painting of the apple boy. Dimitri comes and sees the painting in Agatha's hands and runs after him. Then he sees Gustave and Zero and asks them to give him back the picture of the apple boy. They say they will never give it back, and Dimitri starts shooting at them. And at that point, the cops arrive and stop them all. And then the cop looks and there's a letter on the back of the sign. We find out that Gustave's girlfriend owns the Budapest Hotel and left all his inheritance to Gustave, making Gustave Zero the heir to the Budapest Hotel. Agassa and Zero are then officially married and decide to take a trip with Mr. Gustave. During the trip, the police appear again and ask for identification. But this time, Gustave has a license. He says you don't have to take Zero with you. The policeman tears the license and says this piece of paper is useless. The police eventually shot and killed Mr. Gustave, and Agatha died shortly thereafter. Thus, Zero Moustafa became the owner of the Budapest Hotel. But with all of this wealth, he is still unhappy because his loved ones have died. This tells us that money is not everything if you don't have love and loved ones. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share the video.